called down the thunder, well, now you got it. You see that? It says United States Marshal.
Wyatt, please don't kill me, please.
Take a good look at him, Ike, because that's how you're gonna end up.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me? I see a red sash, I kill a man wearing it. So run, you cur. Run! Tell all the other curs the law's coming! You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Dude, it would help if I added myself to the stream. Okay, let's try this shit again. Let's try this again, because I was totally off fucking stream right now. I was off stream. It's 420. I've been smoking. It's 420. I've been smoking. Let's try this again. Take two. All right, welcome everybody. Forgive the black screen. I'll get to all this shit in a minute. Real quick before I jump into this goddamn live stream. I just want to say to Terry Metalis, the fucking the goddamn showrunner for season 3 of Picard. Thank you for doing this final season. Hold on 1 second. Thank you for taking over this series. This was what we needed for fan service. This is what we needed for Star Trek. Did it save it? No. But did it get a 180? Fuck yes, it did. As you know, my first 2 seasons of my reviews for Picard were just fucking dumpster fires. So going into season 3, I already thought this was going to be a fucking dumpster fire. So I was prepared for the worst. Terry Metalis changed my fucking mind. He gave Trekkies what we've been wanting for a while. You can hear the emotion right now in my voice because I just finished this last episode and holy shit. He gave us everything we ever wanted and more. Thank you. This is what I was talking about. Gene Roddenberry back in the day, he made it apparent he wanted to hear from fans. He wanted to hear from the fans what we wanted for stories. Terry Metalis did the same fucking thing. Hold on, I'm gonna have to kill my dog right now. Alright. Jesus. Little Chef has lots to say in this review as well. Anyways, so I did a season 3 episode 1 review, and then after that I stopped because I wanted to see where this was going, because they left it on a cliffhanger and I was like, okay, is this how it's going to be for the rest of the season? Yes, it was. So that is why I didn't do a weekly review like every other channel did. I wanted to see if this was really worth it. This, holy shit, I don't know where to begin. When you say you're bringing back the original TNG crew in a way that we've never seen them before, yes, they're older. And yes, they do make jokes about them being older, which is hilarious. You have a scene with Riker and Picard where they're getting ready to this is like episode 2. Because I'm gonna mash all 10 episodes into one big review. This is my big fucking final review. And then we're done with Picard because Picard's over. Like episode 1, we see Beverly's in a predicament. She is a part of she's got a ship of her own called the Helios, which is small little freighter. But she's in trouble. She's being hunted. We don't know by who though. I'll get to that in a minute. And how they got to that is fucking amazing. She's boarded. You hear a distant voice. That's Jack Crusher, her son, her second son. Wesley, you only mentioned his name once in this whole series, and I don't give a shit. Whatever. Wesley who, as I like to say. She's in trouble. She gets shot. She sends out a distress call to, I hate saying the Admiral, but I'm just gonna say like old school, Captain Picard, on his TNG combat. Old, beautiful. He gets the message, figures it out. She says, "Trust no one. Don't trust Starfleet." Specifically, do not trust Starfleet. So something's going down with Starfleet that she can't go around. Anyways, she reaches out to Riker. Riker's a captain. Well, he doesn't have a ship. He lost the Titan. We don't know why, we don't know how, but he's lost the Titan. So he's in between ships. He reaches out to Riker. They sit at Guinan's bar. One of Guinan's bars. He tells her what they have the conversation. He sits there with the thing and he's like, yeah, when you were assimilated, we had to kind of come up with a different kind of tech to outsmart the Borg. He said, so if you add 2 extra digits to, and he finds out where they're at, she's on the outer rim of where they're supposed to go. They're also getting ready for Frontier Day, which is like the 250th anniversary since Captain Archer took off on his Enterprise from Enterprise, the show Enterprise. It's redundant. So Riker goes, look, I got kind of a shoe in. We might be able to get on the Titan. He's like, the captain's a dick, but the first officer, he's like, you're gonna fucking love. Which we find out 7 of 9. 7 of 9 has got into Starfleet, and she's now Commander Annika Hansen because her Captain Shaw doesn't like the fact that she was a former Borg and that her station is 7 of 9, so he prefers her go by her human name, which is fucking retarded. Did not like it at all because I was like, dude, this isn't 7. That's not 7. Even though Jerry Ryan, she looks good in a Starfleet uniform. So the boys end up on the Titan. They meet Shaw, who's an asshole, bona fide asshole. Love him. Love the actor who played him. They tried to go, hey, we got to go to the righteous system. Frontier Day. Let's brag and rights. We're the ship that goes out the farthest. Boom, boom, boom. Captain Shaw denies it. 7 figures out they need to get there for some reason. So she goes aboard, goes above protocol, sets a course for the right system. You also find out Geordi LaForge's daughter, Sydney LaForge, is a pilot of the Titan. She has a bit of a history. She crashed 2 space shuttles twice. She was a cadet twice, which is fitting. Loved it because if you remember in All Good Things, the series finale, you find out about Alondra and Sydney, Geordi's 2 daughters, which you will see in this series, which is great. His daughter, his actual daughter was in this show, which is fucking awesome. So, right, women drivers. So when they get to the shuttle, they meet Jack and all that shit. I'm really fast forwarding through all these episodes because I really want to get to the good shit. So you get to Jack, they get Crusher, they meet this villain, Captain Vadic of the Shrike. She was a badass. A lot of people said she smoked cigarettes. I'm going to say she smoked blunts because those are some slow burners. And every time she would take a hit, she'd get she'd get a little bit more giddy. So I know yeah, Mika Burton. There you go. Thank you. So you meet her. There's something off about her because her villains were some fucking masks, some really cool fucking masks. Like the costumes were fucking awesome. The prosthetics on the aliens brought you back to that classic Trek. Yes, we did have some green aliens. Yes, we did have some Trill. Yes, we had some Klingons that look like fucking Klingons. We had some Romulans that look like fucking Romulans. We had, you name it, we fucking got it in the best Star Trek way. That was pretty much a slap in the face to all these new motherfuckers. Like, this is how you make characters. Anywho, she wants Jack for a reason. There's something about Jack that everybody wants. And nobody knows what's wrong with Jack. Jack's having visions and all this weird shit throughout the series. Well, the changelings are back. If you don't know who the Changelings are, I highly suggest you watch Deep Space Nine. The Changelings are the founders. They're a cause of a great link. They can change into anything in any form. When I mean anything, they can be anyone. There was an episode on Deep Space Nine where the Changelings infiltrated Starfleet. Which that episode stuck out to me because why? This is what the fuck happened. They made this a reality in a way that it was just explosive. So, the Changelings are back. You have Picard. They stole his body from Daystrom Station, Section 30 fucking 1. This is where it gets interesting. Remember that little disease that Picard had that we all thought in All Good Things where he's losing his fucking mind, that I can't pronounce it. Whatever. You know what it is, the brain shit. Apparently, that wasn't a disease. When he was assimilated back in the day, this is goddamn Terry Metalis. My boy, he got smart. He thinks like a fucking Trekkie. This is where a Trekkie's brain really goes. So he wasn't sick. The Borg put they put implants in his fucking brain. So if he were to ever have an offspring, he's pretty much creating a newer version of a Borg, a new hive mind, which is Jack. Jack is now officially a new hive mind of Borg. The founders want him because the Borg and the founders made a deal. The Borg have tech. The founders have a way to get into Starfleet. Why not they team up and fucking assimilate with inside Starfleet and then probably the world and then take over the galaxy? That's what the fuck happened. But the way they did it was they did it through transporters. Borg tech. They put the Borg tech through the fucking transporter system. So any Starfleet that transported between ships, Earth, anywhere around the galaxy, under the age of 25, was assimilated and was just dormant until Jack figured out, okay, until he opened this fucking red door. He had to open up a red door. It's kind of like a fucking vision quest that Troy took him on, which was really good. Fucking A, man, this is great shit. So if you think about it, you've got Locutus of Borg, who is the mind. Now you have Jack, who is known as Vox. They gave him that name, which he's the voice. You put those two together, that's a fucked up story. Now we'll fast forward to this final front fucking tier. We're gonna get right into this. But the last episode we did get pretty fucking cool. We got the Enterprise D because it's all about the D when it comes to the Enterprise, and I cried. I cried like a bitch when I saw that. It was when you see the lights come on for the first time, and Geordi was the one to say, "Computer, turn on the lights," and then you hear the roar, the warming up of the engines of the Enterprise D, just that nice little it used to make. The set is pristine. You want to know who built the set? The guy from 85 when he built the original TNG set back in the day. They asked Terry Metalis, begged this guy, could you come back and build me the Enterprise D set one last time? This guy said, fuck yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. This ship, the way he got the saucer back, Geordi was able to get the original Enterprise D saucer back from the Prime Directive. Remember when it crashed in Generations? We thought it was gone. Geordi got it back. He spent over 20 years repairing the Enterprise D as a present to the original crew, that they would all just take it out one last spin before he decommissions it, as he's Commodore of the Fleet Museum, which, oh, that Fleet Museum, baby. Whew. You got Trek's, you got Kirk's Enterprise, you have Worf's Defiant, you have Seven of Nine's Voyager. Now you have the Enterprise D. You have the Klingon ship that was in, oh god, that crashed into San Francisco. Cannot remember. I think it was Undiscovered Country. You had the USS Hikaru Sulu. You had the USS Constellation from the goddamn video game. You had everything that you wanted. This is fan service. This is what I wanted when I heard about Picard. This is why I wanted to get giddy after every episode going, this is Trek. Like I said, did it fix it? No. Did it get it back in the right direction where it needs to go? Yes. Are we still in danger with the two people that are running it? Fuck yes, we are. As long as Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman are still running this shit, we're still in danger. But if we can get motherfuckers like Terry Matalas in here, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Let's get into this shit, shall we? Look at this. If I could just fucking, god damn it. So this is what the Borg kind of look like a little bit. It's kind of weird. Their eyes are all black now. They've got fucking veins on their shit. Look at Geordi. Look at this. You got Geordi, you got Riker. Look how good they look. They look fucking great. They look good. Do I like their uniform? My only big bitch was their uniforms. I don't like the way they have the pips right here on the collar. I don't like that. I don't like the kind of rock jacket look they got kind of going on. Other than that, the uniforms were slick. The comm badges, I could take it or leave it. They're whatever. But as you can tell, that's the Enterprise D in the background. Because she's so fucking beautiful. She's a beautiful fucking machinery. Look at that. Look at that. That's all you want. That's all you want, Terry Matalas. That's all we want. A beautiful Enterprise D going into effect. So, now we have entered episode 10. Here, let me fast forward real quick. So, Jack, last episode, finally broke through the red door, which you find out is the Borg. He figures, if I give myself to the Borg, maybe this will all end. No. So he took off. He met up with the Borg queen, who is my favorite Borg queen actress, Alice Craig from Star Trek First Contact and also on Star Trek Voyager. He gets in there, she assimilates him. Once he's assimilated, everybody from the under age of 25 is assimilated. They take over during Frontier Day. They do this. There's this new form of starships, fleet ships, starships, fleet, whatever you want to fucking call them. The fleet can now synchronize, which is so fucked up. In harmony together. They have this tech where they're all in sync and they can all fire at once. So during this big hurrah, you got Admiral Shelby, who's the original actress from TNG, Best of Both Worlds, parts 1 and 2. That Admiral Shelby, that actress is still fucking hot. Do you see where I'm going with this? Are you seeing where I'm going with the cameos of, we had Ensign Ro, who is now Commander Ro. You had the original actress, Michelle Forbes, boom. You had her, looking fine as fuck. She died. That was a sad episode. Rest in peace, Ro. But, she cracked the code. She was like, look, changelings are taking over the fucking Enterprise, and I ain't using no transporters. So Jack's assimilated. He sparks off the Borg. They start firing So the young ones start taking over the ships. They start commandeering all the ships. They take out all the oldies. Sadly, Picard and them, they got off. They went to the Fleet Museum. Geordi showed up the Enterprise D. Worf asked the infamous question, "Will she fly?" And I said, "The fuck she will. Yeah, she will." And Picard's like, "Yeah, she'll fly." I'm like, dude, fucking idiotic question, Worf. Love Worf. But the cool thing about the D is it's all about the D. It doesn't have the new tech. So the new ships can't sink them, find them. They have to actually kind of look for them. Seven's got to fight her way in. She's got to fight to get to the bridge. The fleet is going fucking crazy. They're firing upon, well, the command post. That pretty much the stands between Earth and us. It's like if the command post goes down, Earth is defenseless and we're pretty much fucked. So they start going after Starfleet Command. They start going for the outpost. That's where that episode ended. Now you have this was beautiful. You have Anton Chekhov, Pablo Chekhov's son. That's Pablo Chekhov's son, yeah. From the original series, he had a son. This is his son, Anton Chekhov. Who's the original voice of Chekhov? They actually got Chekhov, Walter Koenig, to do the voice for this transmission. Once again, thank you, Terry Metalis. Oh, I know. The reason why I have the emergency transmission is because on the Enterprise D, they're literally listening to Anton Chekhov say that do not come to Earth. Earth is under attack. The Borg have attacked. If you could get this out, we just need help. It's so they're listening. The crew's listening. This is such a goddamn beautiful original set. They're all in their almost original outpost, except for Worf. Worf technically wouldn't have been there yet. Technically, it would have been Tasha Yar, but he's still at tactical. So technically, it's after like Tasha died. But I digress. So they're listening to the transmission, and they're like, "We got to figure out where the fuck this is at." Cool thing about Data died twice, but now Data, he's human. He's a human synthetic. So he has the emotions fully. Now he gets to know what it's like to be a human. Brent Spiner, I think, I think in his contract he was like pretty much let's take off the Data makeup and just keep the eyes, which is fine because he's in his own human synthetic form. So that's actually just Brent Spiner being Brent Spiner with the Data eyes. The crew looks great in this fucking still. It's like you got Worf at tactical. You've got Troy in her regular seat. John Luke looking like a badass in his suit. You've got fucking Riker sitting in the old Riker pose. You notice that? I just noticed that. You got Geordi sitting at the helm old school before he went into engineering, and you got Data in his rightful place. You know what I mean? You got it's just one of those where this whole episode I laughed, I cried, I was up, I was down, I was like, let's go, yes, no, let's make this decision, no, are we really doing this, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, just like watching a regular Star Trek episode for an hour. It's like, are we really fucking okay, yeah, that's how I was. This guy had me invested all season long. If I would recommend it, if anybody goes, would you recommend Picard? I go, I recommend Picard season 3. Forget the first 2 seasons ever existed. If Paramount was smart, they'd just delete the first 2 seasons and just leave this one. Holy fuck. Anywho, so once they hear this, they got to figure out where Jack is. Jack is taking the Borg cube somewhere close by, but not too close, so he could transmit the signal to all the fleet ships that are fucking currently attacking the command center. Data does his thing. Picard's doing. Fucking dude. He came to life in this. They figured out he's a Jupiter. God, look how beautiful that is. Look, So the Enterprise D figured out it's in Jupiter, but we're in Jupiter. Where this motherfucker hid the Borg cube was amazing. Fucking smart. You'd think he'd hide it somewhere maybe behind the planet or somewhere inside the planet or wherever. No. He hides it. They arrive at Jupiter. He hid it right in that fucking red eye. That's where he hid that shit. And it's not your typical... This isn't your typical Borg cube. Like, this ain't your typical Borg cube. This ain't your typical... This ain't your rodeo. As of right now, the Borg are all kind of... They're dying out because in Best of Both Worlds and... Fuck. Actually, you kind of have to take Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2 and take... we'll throw in... Throw in First Contact, and we'll sprinkle a little Voyager Endgame Part 1 and 2 with the Borg tech. When Janeway got the advanced Borg tech that was able to fuck up the Borg and kind of make them fucking sick inside. Well, this is pretty much the last of them. The Last of Us. This is like John Luke's final stand, and he literally says it. He's just like, look, for 35 fucking years, he didn't say the F word. I really kind of wish he did. He's like, look, for 35 years, I've dealt with this, and now it's time for everything to end. It's time that we put a bow on this. It's time that we get our kids back. It's time that we do this. And at that point in time, the Borg ship actually lowers the shields as an invitation. So he knows, Jack knows that he's there. So he kind of lowers the shields going, come and find me. So this is going to be a race against time. So you pretty much got to start the clock. Because now Earth's in danger. The Borg are getting stronger. As soon as they get that outpost done, they could just take over Earth. And then all the other fucking galaxy planets around, like Vulcan, Kronos, you know what I'm saying? Metalis Prime. You get where I'm going. They could just expand. But it's through procreation, because it's through humans. Yeah, through species that actually bang and make kids. No, because you remember at the end of when technically Harry made it as a captain, but then when Janeway went back to fix shit, Harry still ended up being an ensign. So he never made it as a cap. He just remained an ensign. Poor son of a bitch. So it kind of looks pretty cool how they got the Borg cube, because it's got all this little like kind of like spaceship shit, like kind of like Space City shit. Like if the Borg was like a city or some shit. Really cool, kick-ass design. God damn. Meanwhile, back at the clusterfuck over here, the Borg are fighting. They're taking down Space Dock. Seven's trying to figure out a way to get her ship off of this fucking because it's automated. So once it's automated, they're locked out for some fucking reason, which is fucking stupid. There's gotta be a failsafe, which they find. So Seven and Rafi, girlfriend Rafi's still alive. This is what the Borg really look like now. I like it. I like it. It's new. It's fresh. They're part changeling. They're part Borg. It's fucking good. It's fucking kinky. The Borg and the changelings made some nasty babies, and this is the product. If you're under the age of 25, you were fucked. I'm just saying. I loved it. It was one of those, if you were under the age of 25, you were fucked. I was like, well, I made it out. I'm an OG. Fuck you. That was Terry Metalis' fuck you to all you new Trek fuckers. In case you were wondering, he threw a lot of shade to all you new Trek fucks, and you guys ate it up going, this is really good. Fuck you. Anywho, Seven's got her crew that are above the age of 25 who were able to handle phasers. She's like, we're taking back the fucking bridge. But they did it in a really cool fucking way. So they had their phasers out, but as they were firing, they were transporting these motherfuckers to the transporting dock. Sealed that son of a bitch. So they made a trap. That was smart. See, Seven's fucking smart. She said, all right, they sealed them in. She said, seal us up in the fucking bridge. Let's commandeer the bridge. Let's figure out a way to get the fuck out. They figured out they're fucked. And you could just literally hear the hive mind going, we have to retake the Titan. Da, 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 da. There's the technology that it's the little fucking details that they show. This series that it's the Trek geek. The little, you have like a little 2-prong right here. That's the little transponder that took him to the transporter. Beautiful. I liked how they emphasized on that. Now, here's my favorite part. Seven's got a crew, a little motley crew. This guy right here. She's all, hey, everybody take positions, and he like turns around and he's like, I'm the cook. I was starting flight training. I'm just quoting him verbatim. He said, I'm the cook. I started flight training, and then my mom got sick, so then I had to go over and take over the family deli. Then my dad got a hernia, and I never finished flight training. I'm really sorry. And Seven's like, you're a pilot now. Get on the fucking helm. Thank you for that, Terry Metalis. Because every chef was like, fuck yes, just like me. I laughed my ass off. I was like, for real, I'd be in that fucking situation. Go, ho, I just cook. And now you want me to fly this bitch? Okay. So they got to figure. So now they're trying to figure out a fucking plan. Meanwhile, back on the Enterprise D, because it's all about the D. Data's having a hard time trying to find Jack's kind of life signs. So they kind of asked Deanna, like, "Hey, can you sense him?" She's like, "I can, but it's like really, really dark, really, really angry." And Data, now being human, has his emotions. He expresses his anger towards the Borg. He's like, I hate the Borg. I love nothing more to do but to just tear them up, blah, 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 blah. Which is like, yeah. So they finally find him, but they kind of find him in a way where they have to beam down. They can't beam him out. So Picard makes the ultimate decision. He's going to go down there and he's going to go get him. He's making the decision. He's pretty much saying his goodbyes. He looks at Beverly. He's like, look, you've gotten this far. Now I'm going to bring him home. She's like, let me bring our son home. And she's like, all right, bring him home. So she's like, all right. So Riker volunteers. He's like, I'm going with you. You're not going alone. And Worf comedically says, I'll make it a threesome. Riker looks at him and goes, do you even hear yourself when you speak? Which when he said that, I was like, yo, ho, like, you making it a threesome. It's like, hey-o. Riker and Troy have they have a moment where they're sharing each other's thoughts. You don't hear it, but you could tell with their eyes, with their body language, that he's pretty much saying goodbye to her. Like, he's pretty much saying, I love you. Like, I'll be right back. You know, something subtle, because the look in her eyes, she kind of knows that he ain't coming back. These boys ain't coming back. So this is kind of this is kind of them saying goodbye. And then before John Luke hits the turbo lift, he turned around. And this is where I started crying. He turned around and he looked at all of them. And he said, "It's been a pleasure serving with you." And they all kind of have a moment where they all just kind of look at him and they all look at each other, just like, this is it. Like, this is this is the final frontier, this final fucking battle, and we might not all make it out alive. Like, let's take it in. So they go, they beam down. The ship is dormant. There's no Borg in sight. You know how you regularly, when you get on a Borg cube and it's just full of fucking Borg activity, either they're just walking around, moving, working on something, or just in their oh my god, I just blanked out. Alcove, boom, regenerating. It's nothing like that. You've got Borg over here, but they're corpses. They're died out. Some of them are died out. And you got Riker, he's freaking the fuck out because he's like, this is not a good situation. He's like, it's quiet, it's too quiet, and there's usually Borg everywhere. So they get close, Riker gets close to one of the Borg, and he looks like this. And you find out that they're being eaten alive from the inside out. That something is pretty much taking their life force. But you find out it's Jack. Jack is literally like sucking the life out of the collective, out of the old collective, and bringing it to the new collective. I thought that was a really cool fucking. I think this is like I say what you will. The Borg have always been one of my favorite villains on Star Trek. It's so every time I get a chance to see them, I think it's pretty cool, and I like the prosthetic that they did on this. I think it's pretty fucking good. Once again, details. So, um, Beverly is literally leading the boys down this fucking path of fucking dormant Borg or dead Borg to get to Jack. So she's pretty much their eyes. They're going around looking. They found him, but he's in a dead spot. And so with this part, I kind of got emotional because he looks at Worf and Riker, and he goes, "This is where I leave you as a captain, and this is where I have to be a father." And I'm like, dude, like, goddamn, like he's telling them, "You guys will probably make it. I'm probably not going to." Like, dude, it's like you read the body language between all three of these actors. You could tell, like, this is it. Like, this is their final performances of, like, them being these characters, and they're leaving it all out. Like, this is just raw emotion. And so Worf literally says, he's like, there's two sayings that Klingons never speak. One is defeat, and the other is farewell. Which is true, because you've never heard Worf say, "We've defeated." This is farewell, my friend. Like, you've never heard him say that in all his years of running through TNG, Deep Space Nine, and now Picard. He's never said that. By the way, he looks really fucking good. Like, prosthetics, beautiful, beautiful. So the boys go because they gotta find the central nerve. Beverly tells John Luke, "Hey, it's pretty much as far as I go. Like, this is as far as you go. I can't see him from there, but he's below you, and you got to go down there and get him." And she's trying to tell him, like, "Hey, and he's like, look, let's not have this conversation. We're not gonna do this. I'm gonna go get our son. We're gonna go have a conversation." So he gets down there. Let's see if I can get like a really good fucking. I don't know if I can get him. He's already assimilated. He's already into the full Borg garb, which he looks actually pretty fucking good. He looks good. They did a good job about Jack Crusher. They gave him the Locutus look. Like an advanced Locutus look. Brilliant. Jack has no idea he's there because you can literally hear him talking to the different ships. Like you hear him say the Titan, or not the Titan. You hear him say the. Let me see if I remember. He said the Hikaru Sulu. He said the Constellation. He said, oh God, the San Francisco. He said he kept saying a lot more ships at a time. So he could still he's in the space battle. He's telling the starships, keep firing phasers. Get this space dock down. I want to get to Earth. Fuck Earth up. So he has no idea he's there. But the Borg Queen does. Alice Krige does. Alice Krige looks like Jesus Christ. They did her dirty. I can't even get I don't know if I can get a good look on her. But holy shit. But she's dying. She's dying in a way that she just, oh my God. Her rib cages are all sucked in. Her face is half melted. She is fucked up. It's great. It's great. She's starving. They're starving. She's starving because she's been deactivated from the hive mind all those years ago with no voice, no people to assimilate, to continue on. So she's just been dormant waiting. And then this voice got louder, which was Jack looking for her. And she's like, now I finally have my son, and Locutus is back. I have my man, I have my son, all is one. Let's be a family. And he's just, John Luke's like, fuck you, not having it, not having it. Dude, they did a really good prosthetic job on her. On the Titan, Rafi's like, there's a starship out there with the call sign NCC 1701-D. Question mark. Like, she doesn't know the Enterprise. She doesn't know John Luke, the infamous. She doesn't know. Seven knows. She's like, that's the Enterprise D. She's like, John Luke must have got to it. Okay. She's like, we gotta buy him some time. She's like, they're on the out. She's figuring shit out quicker than her goddamn girlfriend. I don't even know if they're still together. But if they're not, that's probably one of the reasons why they broke up. Dumb bitch. Whew. Learn your fucking spacecrafts. So she figures out they got the Enterprise. And that she's like, they found the Borg ship. She's like, now we got to figure out how we can break the formation and buy them fucking time. So they're like, okay, how do we do that? So Seven comes up with a weird fucky way of she's like, let's just flood the whole comm system with every code that we know. Hopefully that'll override the system and we can break free. Which that happens and they do. Seven pretty much makes this case of look, I didn't ask for you guys to sacrifice your lives. She's like, look, we are the last line of defense between us and Earth. She's like, if we lose, think about what you're losing. Your friends, your family, your kids, everything. So let's fucking go, pretty much. That's when I jumped the fuck on. I was like, let's go, Captain Seven. Let's go. The cook kind of looks at her like, I wish I was in the fucking kitchen, because Jesus Christ. This guy, he's a good pilot. He's a good pilot. I think he's gonna get promoted. So you see this beautiful, beautiful Titan. They did a really good job on the Titan. The Titan design is beautiful. The schematics are perfect. So she figures out, they're trying to figure that out. Meanwhile, Jack is in the hive mind controlling everything. Fucking shit up left and right. He is in the state of euphoria. If you remember, Seven mentioned it, so did John Luke when they said when they were both assimilated that the hive mind felt like euphoria. Like it felt like they were wanted, they were one, like everything made sense, everything was perfect, that you wanted to stay there. They made it to a place where it's like, I don't want to leave. Kind of like Neverland. Old school Neverland. Not this new school. God, I hate saying that. So he is in that state of euphoria, just enjoying life. He has no idea what the fuck he's really doing. Kind of like Locutus did with the battle at Wolf 359. He was in the state of euphoria, enjoying shit. Really didn't know. I mean, even though the Borg Queen technically was kind of controlling him, but yeah, bygones. So John Luke and her are having this conversation. She's like, "Look, I'm his mom," and he's like, "You're not his mom." And he fires his phaser, realizing she's protected. It's not gonna work. So now he's really got to start to think on his feet of like, how am I gonna get my son, and how am I finally going to beat this bitch, and finally defeat the Borg in a way that it's done, it's over, no more collective. That's it. No more hive mind. The Borg are done. See, he's thinking on his toes. Meanwhile, you got the boys. Ah, yes. So I think the crew. No, 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 no. Jack's pretty much just like, look, we are the Borg. We're gonna, the whole spiel. Meanwhile, the boys are still in the tunnel. They found the alcove and all this shit. They're slowly running out of time because at this point they're that's right. The boys found the sweet spot. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like Star Wars. You know when Luke had to fire a phaser at a little hole. It's pretty much what they had. They got to fire this fucking little photon. They got to go through a map. They got to do a Kessel Run. I'm just gonna say it. They got to do a Kessel Run, boys, to get to the beacon to destroy the Borg. Sometimes Star Wars and Star Trek mixed together. Fuck it. It worked. So those dormant Borg that I was telling you about weren't so dormant. They're alive. Jack activated them because he realized there's two people here. So we get an epic old man battle with Riker and Worf. These boys are old. Meanwhile, the Borg Queen is talking. She's pretty much telling John Luke, look, when you cut us off, this is what the fuck happened. She's like, so we made a deal with the devil, pretty much the changelings. The changelings have the way of getting into Starfleet. I have the tech to assimilate Starfleet. Big bang boom. They came up with a way to infiltrate Starfleet, get through the transporter systems, everything. Boom. Easy peasy. She's like, I could die. The Borgs live on. As long as they're assimilated and active in the hive mind and they start procreating, the Borg will live on. But once severed, there's no more Borg ties. So they got to sever ties. Meanwhile, the kids on the Titan that were stuck, they finally break free, and now they're got to take over. They're going to try to take over the Titan. The Borg that were on the ship, they're fighting with Worf and Riker. Worf gets shot. They shot our boy Worf, I believe, in the shoulder. Yes, they shot him in the shoulder. So, yeah, Worf is a badass, man. They worked his ass out. So they figure out where it's at. It's one of those impossible. We can't do it, and like Jordy's like, we gotta take out those turret guns, or we're fucked. Worf comes around, and drops his sword. Riker goes to pick it up, and he's like, "Shit! I didn't realize it was that heavy." And he's like, "Look," he's like, "Go on the inside. There's a phaser inside. Always gotta feel safe." Titan figured out how to get breach, so they're firing everything on the side. They're taking them from the side, which is beautiful. They're getting shredded, but Captain Seven is fucking rocking it. They're trying to calculate a way how they can get to the beacon in the center of the Borg cube. They're like, it's impossible. We can't do it. A shuttle can't get there. How how are we gonna do this? Data finally comes up with the idea. He's like, look, he's like, yes, you gotta protect. He's like, believe, trust in me. He's like, are the probabilities? Being the data mind that he is, he goes, probability. Yes, it's possible. He's like, is it dangerous? Yes. Blah blah blah. Can I do it? He's like, you gotta trust my. And he couldn't say it. He's like, my gut. And so, trusted his gut. Worf and Riker have a moment where they're just like, pretty much like, we're too old for this shit. But they're just like, their boys are having fun. So once they find it, they find the route. They gotta follow that red line. They gotta follow that shit. And so to get to that, they gotta follow that. So pretty much, Data's like, you gotta trust my gut. Jordy, he's like, all right, buddy. He looks at him like, hey, they're best friends. They're best buds. So when you trust your best friend, hell yeah. So he puts his trust in Data. He's like, let's go, bro. I just actually like seeing Jordy in the captain's chair. It's fucking great. So we get one of the best fucking camera angles of the Enterprise D because it's all about the D. Look at that ass end. She's so beautiful. That ship is so fucking beautiful. So Data's gonna start making his Kessel Run. This is when the clock really starts speeding up between time. So they're figuring shit out. So Data's going through the run. Troy's like, why am I getting the sense? She's like, I'm sensing happiness and euphoria. And then you see Data just sitting there smiling like I fucking love it, dude, because that's the Data thing to do. Because he was having fun. If he's gonna die, he's gonna die having fun, doing what he does best. As of right now, Earth is officially fucked. They took down Starfleet Command. The shield will go down. I can't really get that angle on it, but there is a shield around Earth, kind of like right here. It's light, but in a flicker, it'll go off, meaning the Borg are able to assimilate Earth amongst other planets and take over. It's game over. So they pretty much look, yeah. So they look at the Fleet Federation target. They look at what they're targeting. United States, everywhere. It's gone. They're targeting. He's targeting everyone. She's like, they're going after everyone and everyone. The little ragtag crew of 25 and below, they make their way back up to the Titan bridge. Jean-Luc then makes the decision he's going to sever ties between Jack and the Borg Queen. So he starts pulling cords, just starts whipping them out. She's like, look, if you sever his ties, you know he's gonna die. Da 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 da. And he's like, no, my son is in there. I could do this. Rafi's sitting there going, what the fuck do we do now? And Seven's like, we're dead in the water. Because as of right now, they are fucking surrounded. All ships are surrounding them. And they're pretty much getting ready to say, kiss their asses goodbye. So in a last-ditch effort, Picard tries to get through to Jack. That was pretty much that little scene. But as you can tell, Jack is now forcing every single starship to point at the Titan, take him down. Data's still on his Kessel Run, blasting phasers and just having a blast, moving the rocking and rolling with the Enterprise D. It was fucking awesome. Until they hit the center. They found the center. They're getting ready to fire a torpedo. And then they realize if they fire the torpedo, they kill everybody in the Borg cube. Meaning they're gonna kill Worf, Riker, Jack, and Picard. But in reality, Geordi's also thinking he gets his daughters back. So they are weighing some heavy decisions right now on what to do. It's like either we wait and see what happens if Picard can pull Jack out, or we just let Earth fall. So Geordi literally gives the decision to Crusher because it's her son. And he's like, it's on you. Do you want to fire this torpedo and just do this? Or do you want to wait? Beverly makes the most hardest decision I think a mother would ever have to do in her life. I'm not a mom, but I would have to suggest if my mom ever had to make a decision like this, it would probably be the hardest decision of her life to take the life of her kid. So she decides she's going to fire that torpedo and blow up the ship along with the boys inside. That part really got to me. I was like, fuck, dude, she's lost 2 sons. And so they get a hold of the boys, let them know, look, we've decided we're going to fire that torpedo. And we're going to get you guys out. And Riker literally says, I ain't leaving without Jean-Luc. He's my best friend. And I'm going to go get him. Worf is right there with him. He's like, I'm going to go with him. And Geordi pretty much says, when we fire this, you'll have a minute to get back into transporter space, the transporter area, or you're done. And yeah, Riker says, "Hey, I'll be right back." Pretty much tells Troy, "Hey, I'll be right back. I'll see you soon." Kind of like, like what Riker would do. They're getting ready to fire. Jean-Luc pulls out one more. Then he decides to assimilate himself. Because the only way to get to Jack is to get through to Jack. Meaning he's got to go into the hive mind. He goes through the hive mind. Coolest shit ever. You start having flashbacks of when he became he's in the Euphoria. He's in Euphoria with Jack. Jack is pretty much telling him, he's like, I feel great. I feel loved. I feel wanted. I feel needed. This is what I mean. No conflict. Everybody's one voice, one mind. He's like, everything's peace. He's like, I could just be. Picard's telling him, look, everything here might be great, but outside, things aren't so great. And he's like, I could take it or leave it. So he's like, you just don't get it. So Picard decides he's going to make the ultimate decision. He's like, if you're going to stay, I'm going to stay with you. Which I was fucking pissed. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I was pissed. I was straight up pissed. So they fire that torpedo. They have a moment. He hugs him. Jack starts having flashbacks of when they first met. When he first realized that's his dad and he's his son. All of that. Which I thought was great. I thought it was really great. They had the scene in Guinan's bar on the holodeck after he found out, father and son. Yeah? Okay, cool. And all this other. So you've got the Borg infiltrating the Titan. So everything is coming together. You got the Borg infiltrate the Titan one last time. You've got Worf, Riker, Jean-Luc, and fucking Jack severed ties. He's done. He broke free. He's got him, and now they got to get the fuck out. Because shit's coming. So, as everything's falling together, Riker kind of has that whole telekinetic because, fucking Troy's a Betazoid, so she could read minds and hear thoughts and all that. Riker has a one last kind of thing where he's just like, "I'll see you soon, Anzadi." He's like, "I'll be with our boy their son Thaddeus died." He's like, "I'll be with our boy. I'll see you soon." Troy hears that. She's like, "I know where the fuck they're at." She rushes her little fat ass. She could have just ran. It's one little critique. One little critique. She goes over there. The Borg Queen's last ditch effort with Jack is like, "Look, you sever ties, you're gonna be alone, you're gonna be this," and he's like, "No, not so much." He's like, "I've got family." He's like, "I've got my dad, I've got I've got friends, I've got life." Bomb shows up. Enterprise D swoops in, gets him. Borg's die. Borg are done. Borg's done. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. 35 years of having a Borg species. Enemy done. Annihilated. Beautiful. The last cube, we don't know. They might come back, but as far as it is for TNG, it's fucking done. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And there's the Enterprise D right there. It's right there. Enterprise D is like right there with the shields and all that. Just roaring the fuck out like a badass bitch that she is. I mean, oh. Everybody is, of course, goes back to normal. Their ties are severed with the collective. It's kind of one of those where this is Sydney LaForge. That's Geordi LaForge's baby girl. This scene really got me because it was one of those where they all realized what just happened and what they did. And homeboy, he got the and Seven grabs Sydney and she just cries in her arms. She's just like, "I am so sorry." And Seven's like, "It's okay." Meanwhile, back on, it's all about the D. Jean-Luc comes back. And there's Jack. They have a moment, mother and son. He brought her home. Brought a boy home. I'm so happy. Riker gives Troy a big kiss. Data and Geordi have a good handshake. Worf sits down. This is the funniest shit. He sat down. He went to sleep. Like they're having this moment. They both look at him and he's passed out. Like an old man, you know what I mean? Like an old man having a day. He's like, "I'm gonna sit here in this chair, just rest my eyes for a minute." That was Worf. Like you remind me a lot of my grandfather. Like my grandpa used to do that. He'd be like, "I'm gonna sit here in this chair for a second," and then he'd be out. I loved it. So the Picards, as I like to say, Jean-Luc looks at Jack and he says, "Welcome to the Enterprise D." And I lost it. I started crying. So everything's honky dory. Got the Enterprise D doing her thing, and you hear a captain's log day, and you go, "I guess 1. It's a new frontier. It's a new start. We gotta come up with new tech." Dr. Crusher now is an admiral who came up with advanced tech to determine who are changelings, amongst other technologies that might be, or other species that might be threatening to Starfleet. That is a big advantage. That was a changeling. They have the classic ships again. Tuvok. Everybody loves Tim Russ. He's a captain now. He's sitting with 7 of 9 and they're going over pretty much what she did. He's like, you stole, or he's like, we'll just say commandeer stole a vessel, duh, and she's getting ready to resign from Starfleet after all this. And he's like, before you consider it, he sent her a little message. This is from her captain. That's Captain Shaw. And he pretty much says, Seven, she's off the book, she's reckless, she's this, she's that, but she's perfect. And when they get back to port, I guess would have been probably after Frontier Day, he put a commendation in for her to be captain. And with that, Tuvok said the kick-ass lines ever, said, request denied, Captain Seven. And I'm gonna start crying. That was great shit. Rafi gets back in good graces with her son after her son found out all the all the events that happened, and she now can have contact with her granddaughter and all that, which is great. Worf comes in to pretty much says, tears for Klingons are a sign of weakness. He's like, so you've never seen me weep. He's like, so those have to be tears of joy. She said, somebody leaked her face and some names, and now she's got all these really cool accommodations, and she's like, that's a really good thing. Which Worf was the one who leaked it to give her the accommodations for the job that she did, which was well done. And they have their little farewell. They say their goodbyes, which was fitting because they had a really good relationship, the two of them. It's really good. They say their goodbyes. Data is now that he's human, he's in therapy, and he's talking about his emotions to Troy. He's having a session with Troy. Troy is like, look, we've hit past our time over an hour again. And Data continues talking. Troy's slipping through like vacations and shit of where her and Riker want to go. And so he's just, he's getting used to being human. He's like, I gotta go. Blah, blah, blah. And so Riker asks him, he's like, Data, how you doing? And he's just like, I'm okay. So they have a cute little moment. This is the Fleet Museum. Let me see if I can play it just a little bit. There. This is the Fleet Museum. This is as good as I could get it. So, I don't know if you can see it. You've got Kirk's Enterprise right here. The Defiant. There's the Klingon ship from Undiscovered Country. Actually, my bad. It's right here. There it is. The Defiant is below this. Is like in the next deck below. So is Voyager's right there. Yeah. So we're back at the Fleet Museum. There's the Enterprise D. One last time. You got 3 boys. This is hard. They're having a moment of like reminiscing. They're like, this ship has been through countless battles, countless encounters, everything. And did you think that she would get us through one last time? And it's like, yep. And they pretty much tell Geordi to take care of her while she's dormant in the Fleet Museum. And Geordi's like, of course. And it's just them taking it in just one last time. And Geordi says, computer, pretty much deactivate the Enterprise. And she's quiet. That's it. she's done. Last ride. That was her last ride, and it's just one of those where you just kinda take it in, you're just like, "God damn." Like, you that's the last this is the last time. We all thought, like, what, when it ended in 90 whatever, this would be the last time we'd actually see this shit plus the movies, and then they brought it again just one last time, and I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Like, it's just the set. The original set designer who created this was able to come back and just I mean, God, everything is in its original place, and it's just it's goddamn. It's just one of those where you just kinda you take it in. And then they leave. They leave her. They're back at the new uh space dock. Jack is now an instant. He already went through he went on the fast track because he's got the name Picard attached to him and he's got the name Crusher attached to him. And he's nervous. He's getting his first posting. And we don't know where he's getting his new posting. He's pacing back and forth, and they're doing the parenting thing. She's just like, yeah, Dad. John Luke's like, look, I paced like half a light year before I even beamed aboard my posting. So he's like, I'm proud of you. He had that moment where he looked at him. He's like, I'm proud of you, son. And he's like, this isn't for me. This is for you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the NCC 1701-G. This is the Enterprise G. She's fucking beautiful. We got a new Enterprise. So we get new adventures with this and her crew, and John Luke is just amazed. I mean, look at her. She's just, goddamn. She's just fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful ship. So Jack's gonna be on the Enterprise G. That's where Jack is stationed. Um, and so he pretty much had that as a present for John Luke, and he's like, "I hope you like it." And he's like, "I'm fucking proud." And he's like, "Let's go." So Jack goes on there and he starts like firing off orders like, "Man, the station's da 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 da." Seven tells his ass to get out of the fucking chair. Because Seven's now the captain of the Enterprise G. Rafi is her first command, is her number one. Jack is now her consult to the captain, or her consultant to the captain. This is the new generation, folks. The last generation is done. The new generation has arrived. And if they continue this, it will be Seven of Nine's crew. And I'm okay with that. If Terry Matalas continues to do this, I'm okay with that. So they're getting ready to leave space dock, and they've got all this pressure. I'm gonna end it with this because it's almost done. They're trying to come up. What's gonna be your line? Like engage, make it so, take her out. It's like it's a big deal because you're captain, and so she decides before she even says it, they cut out. So you don't know what Seven's words were, which is fitting. They're at the bar at 10 forward, having one last drink, one last time. Worf is a professor. He's getting ready to do he's a professor now. the Rikers are getting ready to go on a vacation. Jordy's got the Fleet Museum. You know, Crusher's doing her thing at the. Yeah, it's just everything. Everybody's happy. We're all happy. John Luke makes a really cool toast that I won't repeat because if I do, I will cry. And you can tell they're all just taking it in. Cheers, and then he busts out an ace of cards. So what do we get one last time? We get a poker game one last time. You got them all sitting here playing poker one last time. This is great. I wonder if I can actually, you know what? Fuck it. What are they gonna do? I could just edit this shit if they don't like it. Fuck you, YouTube. So they're literally just like, you know, you get all. They're having that moment. It's just one of those where you just take it in one last time. It's fucking great. And like after that, smiles on everybody's faces. And that is legit how that story ends. But there's another one that begins. There's another story that begins because there's an extra post credit. Now, if you did watch Picard and you just watched it and you didn't watch the post credit scene, I got you covered. So you see the Enterprise G. I love saying that. It's all about the G now. Probably, I don't know. Jack settling in. He hears a voice. It's Q. Q, who we thought was dead from season 2, because I really thought they killed Q. This is Terry Matalas saying, they fucked up season 2, so I'm gonna make it better. He pretty much tells him the trial is over for his father, but the trial is just beginning for him. That's how this ends. It ended on a cliffhanger. So where they take that, I don't know. But my overall review of this final season was great. It was great. It was what I needed as a Trek fan. I thank you, Terry Matalas, for everything that you did to make this possible. This was enjoyable. Will I watch this series? Will I watch this third season again? Fuck yeah, I'll watch it again. Just the third season alone, not the other 2 seasons. Out of 10, I'd give this one, because it still had its moments, I'd give it a strong 8. But this was great. This is how you end. This is how you say goodbye to iconic characters the right way. Yes, you had, all good things, but the way they did this one was just beautiful in every way. But yeah, that is my final review for Picard. We've done it, folks. We stuck through it for 3 fucking seasons. That's 3 years. Damn. I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me in these reviews. I cannot wait to do another review. Don't know what show that's going to be just yet. I'm debating on a couple of them. But yes, this was great. Thank you, Terry Matalas. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm like a kid right now. I'm giddy. I got a smile on my face. I got my Star Trek shirt on. I got tears in my eyes. This is great. But yes, if you did miss any of this, feel free to watch it back, share it, comment. If you did watch the series finale, I'd like to hear what you think. or what your thoughts were on the final season alone. Like I said, the fan service was needed. Terry Metalis gave it to us in a way that I never thought that this little Trekkie would see it. If they let him continue this, we're in for some treats. If they don't, and this was his one swing, then fuck, baby, he made a home run. But with that, kids, I'm going to end this stream because I need to blow my nose and yeah. So I will talk to you guys on the next live stream, and yeah, live long and prosper.